Sagittarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late January 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Sagittarius collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for our good Saggy friends as we move very close to February? What's happening in late January? Energies, messages, insights. What can we take a peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Saggy in late January. What's the vibe? Let's get this card out nice and quick for you, my good friends. So what do we got? There we go. I'll take it. Hey, we got the Little Mermaid. And she's usually a card that I see quite often in like the spring and summertime. So at least around here, I haven't been seeing her too much recently. So I think she's good. It's a very good card for the imagination. It's a beautiful card. So to me, it's always a optimistic way to start off a reading. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So yeah, I like to call it the Little Mermaid for obvious reasons, right? We see what looks like Ariel surrounded by that beautiful seascape. So it's just lovely. And it does give me big water sign or watery type of energy. So I'm not sure if you're connected to one. But notice she is in this bubble and it looks like her head is in the clouds. That gives us a bit of a different tone. Now, something which I'm sure you all know if you've seen The Little Mermaid a few dozen times is that she has a great imagination, a very rich inner world. And that's what this card represents to me. So for some Saggies, maybe you're extra creative in this time, whether it's musically, whether it's through art, writing, you name it. It's just a lot of creative expression. But sometimes that can really manifest into overthinking or over fantasizing a little bit. Again, I'm not saying to you this could be somebody else that they're in their head a little more than they should be, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing, especially if you're channeling it in different directions. So just know, like, if you are feeling that internal intensity, spirit wants you to channel it in productive places. Aside from that, aside with her head being in the cloud, I like this for its future focus. So for some of you, that could be a piece of advice from spirit where it's like, all right, well, don't pay attention about the past too much or even what's happening right this second. Maybe look towards the horizon. So we're just going to let her chill out right there. It looks like she's having a moment. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Saggy. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled A Big Return, and it felt like the door was open for revisiting various different things. So whether it's like old ideas, old hobbies, old people and situations, to me it felt like the door is open and things could start looping back on you. So just know that could bleed over for a couple weeks. So do with that information what you will. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Saggy in late January in Aquarius season. What do we got? Yeah, there it is. So very, very similar. We're starting off with the 7 of Cups. You see how like even the vibe of them are very, very similar. So this is definitely a theme for the Saggy collective this week. And again, it could be very good. I love the creativity. I love the manifesting that I see when the 7 of Cups is here. We just need to see what flavor of internal energy it is. But we're just going to let it chill right there. Let's keep going. Let's get 2 more here. Thank you. Okay. So we got the Tower in position 2. That is a very, very intense energy, my good friends. Big scorpionic vibes. Don't get freaked out about it. It's all good. Let's get one more. Okay. Yeah, 2 cards and a bonus. So we got the Sun, which is actually very good. So it's like kind of we have an energetic sandwich going on there. And then right here on the back, we got the 6 of Swords, which is your bonus. That's improvement. That's things that are getting good. I'm a little skeptical about this tower, but let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, I would say this is a water heavy spread, which I've been seeing in the other fire signs in recent times. And I always feel like the elements are important. It tells us the areas of life that we should be looking at or ones that are highlighted. And yeah, Seven of Cups and the Tower are both water. So even though the Tower does look fire and brimstone, it's actually Scorpio energy. So when we think of water, we think of the internal world, the emotions, the feelings, the creativity, personal connections, people, or things that we care deeply for. So there is this strong inner intensity that we're already picking up. The downside to water energy is it could be a little up and down. It's always changing, it's always moving, it's not the most reliable. We do have fire right here on the back end. That is your power element, that's your power zone, that's your comfort place. uh, Fire is the realm of action, so it's the actions we take, the actions other people take, the actions we decide not to take. Think of your inner vitality, your inner fire, your passion, your drive, your desire. So it is a comfortable place for Sagittarius, not to mention it's a very positive card, and we'll get into that. And then, yeah, here for the bone. I mean, thing with fire, sometimes it could be volatile, shocking, unpredictable. But here on the back, we do have a little bit of air, which is the realm of logic, planning, strategy, communication. So we have a nice little mixture of stuff happening. Let's go through and start building it out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the Seven of Cups. So I like to call this card the menu board of life. And as you can see, we have this individual chilling out right there, and he's looking up at the cups like, which one am I going to take? Which one do I want? So this card is great for manifestation, first and foremost. And we'll talk about that more in a moment. But it is a card of paths, choices. What way do I go? What do I do? So for some Saggies, you might be in that liminal space, or you might just feel like you're at the calm before the storm or about to break through, like, okay, well, what's next? Where do I go from here? That's a big vibe with this card. Again, it's also in the mind. Like, this could be a big card of daydreaming, someone with their head in the clouds. So that's great for any creative pursuit. But at the same time, this can easily fall into overthinking or stressing. So, or nervousness. So, we do want to keep a very close eye on this, because sometimes this energy could daydream a little too much. And now it's like thinking way outside of the box. So, we want to keep a very close eye on that, especially with the next card that we have moving over, because right there in the center, I already took it away while we get this card back by the amethyst. We have the Tower. Dun dun dun. Don't get freaked out about it. It's just energy. It's just a card, right? Now, when it comes to the Tower, Scorpio, I already mentioned that. So maybe you have Scorpio placements. Maybe you're connected to one. Um, the Tower, to me, yes, it does look like fire and brimstone. And yes, it can be the energy of shock. Yes, it can be the energy of something that just completely comes out of the blue and shakes things up. When I see this, I think of hitting the reset button. But not every tower is a bad tower. Not every shakeup, not every change is a bad change. So, yeah, is it shocking? It could potentially be. But does it have to be a bad one? Absolutely not. So, we will look into this closer. Now, the downside to the tower, yes, it does have those karmic archetypes where it can speak about things or situations where it's like, all right, I just have to experience this. Um, it's just really intense. That's the one thing I want to push through here in the center, is that, like with the Seven of Cups and the Tower, very, very intense internal energy. So if that's not you, it could be someone else. If there's something you're not taking too seriously, somebody might be taking it way more serious than you. That's what I'm feeling here. Now, on the back end, we do have the Sun, most positive card in the deck, which I think is very much welcome. So either it's a silver lining or it's telling us, like, hey, maybe this tower isn't so bad. The Sun, Leo, you might be connected to Leo. And to me, it's source energy. It's light, life, love that shines down on us. So I think it's great. So it represents wins, victories, and blessings. But what might be the downside of the Sun? It's the intensity, right? Like the Sun can represent truth coming to light, realizations, revelations, aha moments, which is not a bad thing. But the Sun can also be very, very intense and unrelenting. So there is a really strong energetic intensity around the Saggies this week. And hopefully it's for the better. Hopefully it's for the better. I'm never going to call the Sun a bad card, because even in reverse, it's positive. So we're just going to tuck it in right there. And yeah, as your bonus, we do have the Six of Swords. This card could represent distance, travel, taking a trip. To me, it represents improvement, coming out of choppy waters into calm. So there's a lot of very positive signals we're picking up here this week so far, Saggy. But we got to watch out. But I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, this this is where I go intuitive, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Seven of Cups. Let's see what this daydreamy mental energy is about. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Saggy, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Seven of Cups here? Okay. Okay. You know how sometimes in life that we want to aim high? This is an energy to me that seems to be restraining itself. That's how it intuitively feels to me. So I'm not sure if that's a mode that you're in. Like when I see the Seven of Cups with the Empress in reverse, it's like I want to have fun, but not too much fun. I want to enjoy this, but I can't enjoy it too much. Like it's self-imposed restrictions is what I'm picking up here. Now, for some of you, that could be a very good thing. This could be a thing where spirit's like, hey, if there's certain things, behaviors, habits, or things you've been wanting to quit or not put a lot of energy into, this could actually be very good because it's like I'm toning it back. I'm toning something down. So I want to see how it goes because we go from this tone it down energy into all this intensity. But we have the Empress in reverse. Now, the Empress usually is very positive. She can represent motherhood, mother figures, blessings, abundance. Usually she's goddess type of energy. Could be a Taurus or a Libra you're connected to. But when I see her in reverse, sometimes she can be stifling. Right. And I'm not talking smack about anyone that identifies with this card, right? I love the Empress, one of my favorites. But her in reverse under the Seven of Cups, it's like an energy where it's like either mentally escaping, so it has its own mental escapes, or it feels stifled, or it's like self imposed restrictions. So I'm getting these main things here in the front. And again, it doesn't have to be you. Um, you know how, like in school, you would daydream? Like this kind of feels like that too, where it's like, oh, I'm in school. I don't really want to be here right now. So I'm going to go somewhere in my head. That's how it feels. So I'm going to try to not get too specific with it. There's also this energy of purposeful restriction. So let's keep going. It's like an energy that doesn't want to do too much. It doesn't want to go overboard. Let's see what the tower has. Let's see what the tower has. I mean, I get it. I get it. Doesn't feel bad to me. Okay. Yeah. And why are we still in the mind here? Why are we still in the mind? So we have the Four of Cups in reverse underneath here. Um, I don't want to say this is someone like catastrophizing something or like thinking worst case scenario, but there might be someone around you that might just not be in the best headspace. Okay? I don't want to say like this person's a hot mess. They might be, but the energy, it does feel like very much wound up in its head. So anxious, nervous, you name it. Like the energy just feels very wound up because we've been getting this theme ever since the beginning with Ariel, where there's this strong internal presence that can work good for somebody if it's channeled in the proper direction. So that advice I was given, if you're feeling pent up or on edge or anything like that, any sort of creative outlet, highly favored. Or even if it's a physical outlet, any kind of outlet to just move this intense energy out. Because this energy is, yeah, with the tower and the Four of Cups in reverse, it's like I'm losing control of my thoughts. That's how that feels to me. It's like I can't control the things I'm thinking. So when we go from this self-imposed, self-restricted energy where it's like all up in the mind, it might take it a little too far. Like that's just how it feels. So just do what you will about that. If not, again, I'm just going to mention this could be someone that, I mean, could it be a change of heart, a change of emotion, someone that feels something about something? Maybe. But the main thing I'm picking up here is like this is an energy that's way too in its own mind here. Okay, and no judgment. If that's you, there is no judgment here. But this energy is wound tight, anxious, nervous. We're going to go to the sun. Hopefully, this is the clarity coming in. Because, and I don't like using cliche quotes, but you know when they say, you know, it's always darkest before the dawn. That's kind of like what this feels, and we do have the sun coming up next. So, for some of you that may have been going through a difficult thing or a process or a situation, you know, I was speaking about a liminal space too, like a little earlier, where it feels like I'm floating. Hopefully, we have a good breakthrough moment. Let's keep going. Watch out for the on edge energy, or someone's in that space. Yeah, because the Four of Cups, that's in its head, it's in its mind. It's very daydreamy. But let's go in on the sun. Let's see what the sun has for you, Saggy. And we'll do our recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the sun here for my good friends? Thank you. All right, that's good. I'm happy about this. I am happy about this. Whether this is for you or another person, notice we still have mainly water with the Knight of Cups, the Four of Cups, Tower, Seven of Cups. Lots of cups to deal with, my friends. So just watch the emotional well being. Make sure you're practicing self love and self care in this time. Because this energy is just super intense and it does feel like a lot. Now, the Knight of Cups in the upright is beautiful. If you're not connected to a water sign, perfect pace, perfect speed, Prince Charming type of energy underneath the sun. This is absolutely something that pays off in the end, which I saw in the Aries reading. So the dark before the dawn, the rough before the good. And we've had this energy of improvement moving forward. Now, could it be actions that somebody's taken? Yes. But to me, if I'm just going to put a blanket term, the Knight of Cups underneath the sun, this is a blessing or a win coming in, and a pretty big one. Okay. So it's like if someone's in a bad space, something comes in the nick of time where it's like I'm in a really tough spot. Boom, just in the nick of time, something comes in, which I think is great. So there is very positive energy here, as long as this energy doesn't stay too focused inward and too much in its mind. This energy is going to come in no matter what. So I'm glad we have win victory energy here as well. But it's about getting there, right? Like that's what we're picking up here. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Yeah, the Knight of Cups can also represent love and talks and emotion, but this kind of feels like good news to me. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, yeah, lots of internal intensity or emotional intensity. But we start here with the Seven of Cups, Empress in reverse underneath it. This felt like self imposed restrictions or somebody trying to tone it back or not get too carried away with something. Yeah, the energy feels like I'm restricting myself, and it's in the mind, but it gets more intense. I will say that because moving to the front or in the center, we have the Tower with the Four of Cups, somebody that like completely loses control of the mind. I'm not going to say that someone's going to go completely ballistic or wild, but when I have the Tower with the Four of Cups, it's like I can't help but think what I'm thinking right now. So whether it's intrusive thoughts, whether it's emotional intensity, to me it did feel very anxious and on edge. And someone that could be catastrophizing something. Moving to the back end, though, we have the dark and then the dawn. We have the sun with the Knight of Cups here in the upright, where it's like, all right, this doesn't last forever. This energy doesn't last forever. It will work its way through naturally. I do think it's all about like channeling this intense energy in meaningful places or places that will actually do something for you. So whether it's like through hobbies, projects, arts, it could be physical activity. This energy needs to be channeled um, to bring this about much quicker. So we do have the winner victory. But please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle. Yeah, I like that breakthrough moment. That does feel good. It just felt so on edge in the beginning, you know? But let's see. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got? Nice and quick. Yeah, Knight of Wands, cool. So that is one of your power cards, so I like it. Knight of Cups in the main part, Knight of Wands in the shadows. And we'll talk about this Knight's shadow side, but I just want to say in a Saggy reading and a fire sign reading, this is always a good sign, even in the shadows, because it's you coming from a power position. So I like that. But there is a shadow side to the Knight of Wands, where it could be very sporadic, spontaneous type of energy. So with the self-imposed restriction and the intensity and stuff that I'm feeling, watch out for urges, watch out for temptations. That's huge with the shadow side of this Knight of Wands because it's an energy where it's like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to do it. I'm not even going to think it through. So it could be a very risky type of energy. So that's something to just beware of as you move through the next week or so, that there could be a certain risky type of energy attached to you, or one that just doesn't think things through, which is odd because we had this energy doing too much thinking in the reading. Now I have this energy that's like, screw it. So hopefully this isn't somebody getting to that point, right? So we're just going to put him down right there, Saggy. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The January subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or if you'd like to see what 2026 has in store for you, you can book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The January schedule's already up, so you could go check it out and see what's available. It's going quick, but for the January subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's absolutely adorable and is great for readers of all skill levels. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments from today's reading which card spoke to you the most. Even if the reading didn't quite hit, which card was giving you those warm and fuzzies or really caught your attention. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.